We get noisy again, people. We're getting noisy again because IPL is coming back. We are days away. And of course, all this week, we've been talking to fans from different teams getting ready for the first game of the season. And this is key now. I've messed around with the useless teams. I've dilly-dallied around with the ones that are low down the table, that are talking about how they're going to spoil it, how they're going to mess things up for these guys. These guys are the ones that count. You are the winners. You're sitting at the top of the table. And look at the power of them. Look at them. Look at that power position. We got Gilly. Yeah, they got Gurkrit, who is the CEO representing Delhi Capitals, with Ahan there. Ahan, we know, experienced cricket lover. Rishi and Prasanna in second place with CSK in the league. This is key. This is 1 versus 2. Let's start with Delhi Capitals. Rishabh Pant is your captain, taking you home all the way. Ahan, what does that mean for you guys?
It just means I think we made the right decision. He's the right captain. He started the season. He should finish it. If this had happened at the right time, at this time it should have happened, then he would have finished the season as captain. So give him the role. I think it's Rishabh Pant. He's a vibes man, and he'll take us through on vibes. Don't worry.
Oh, vibes. Good vibes. Power vibes. Yeah, he's going to dominate it. Look at that. You've made your CEO smile. I call Gurkrit the CEO because he just talks like a boss every time. Okay, boss Sab, are you fortunate to be top of the table right now, or is that position deserved, Mr. CEO Sab?
Both. Actually, if you look at it, the 2 games that Delhi have lost, they've lost them by very narrow margins. One of the games that they lost was by 1 run to RCB, and the other was to Rajasthan Royals in the last over. So it could have easily been, 7 wins at least out of 8 instead of 6. But, 2020 is such a format that that these things will happen. So, you can't fret too much over it. But yes, what I do feel is that in the first half, I don't think that the team played to 100% of their capability. I think they were probably around 70 or 80% of their capability. And to still get those 6 wins out of 8 when you've not performed to your full potential is something which is a huge, huge positive. And with Iyer now coming back, that frees up one more option of playing an overseas bowler or an all-rounder in whichever way you want to look at it. So that frees up the space that Steve Smith was taking or Ajinkya Rahane was taking. So now Delhi can actually play Hetmeyer, Stoinis and Billings if they want to, or they can play one of Hetmeyer and Billings along with Stoinis and then the 2 pacers from South Africa, depending upon how they look at it. So,
okay, can I just pick up on that Iyer comment? So what does Iyer bring to the team? When you say he's coming, I know it frees up other things, but as a player, Ahan, I'm going to come to you with this in a second as well. But Gurkrit, what do you think he brings?
See, firstly, one thing is if you compare him to the other number 3 options that Delhi had, one was Ajinkya Rahane, the other was Steve Smith. The strike rate of Steve Smith and Ajinkya Rahane is lower than that of Shreyas Iyer. Apart from that, there were a couple of occasions in a couple of games where I thought that Steve Smith didn't do the job that he should have done. For Iyer, for starters, wouldn't have looked to rotate the strike against the likes of Jalat Saxena and Deepak Hooda, which Steve Smith did. And or you look back at the one game that Delhi lost to RCB, where when the early wicket fell, he would have ensured that he stays till the end of the power play, and Steve Smith couldn't even do that. So you really want your 4 overseas players to be gun players and making an impact, where Steve Smith failed. So I would have been I wouldn't have said that it's a big deal if if he was replacing an Indian player, but just because he's replacing a foreigner player who's not delivered, that opens up a lot of possibilities for Delhi. So that is one thing that that really helps Delhi. I'm not too worried about the captaincy part because I think it's Ricky Ponting who runs the show. So whether it's Iyer being the captain or Pant being the captain, for me it's more of the same thing. It's not much different.
Ahan, would you agree with that as well? We got Pranav saying I agree with Gurkrit, that Iyer, Rahane and Smith at number 3 in that particular order. Thank you, Pranav, and thank you to everybody who's getting their comments in. Hi, Herbie, as well. Big yourself up. Ahan, you were saying we're going to say about Iyer coming into the squad.
Yeah, I think I was going to say actually before Gurkrit said what he did that. One of the biggest advantages Iyer has is that he's not Rahane. So he's already starting off on a positive note in T20 cricket, because Iyer as a T20 player I think he's very underrated. Everyone seems to think, oh, he's he's a builder. He can only bat one way, but for India he's batted anywhere from 3 to 6, and he's played the role according to what he's been given. He batted his last innings for India, I think, was at 6, and he got 44 of 22 or something like that. So that he can play that way if he has to as well. And it was against England, who are a good side. So I think he brings a lot to the team, and especially as Gurkirat said, it opens up another overseas slot, and we can now bring back the duo that won us most of our games last year, which was Rabada and Nokia, and play them together, which we weren't doing earlier. So I think that's the biggest thing. And yeah, I think the captaincy thing is right as well. It's Ricky Ponting, so it doesn't really matter. That's why I said vibes on the field, and then Ricky Ponting takes some decisions from the dugout.
Ahan, who's been your stars with the bat so far? Who's really got yourselves to the position that you're in? And who do you want to see maintaining that form in the second half of the IPL?
I think for sure the two biggest stars for us, or at least with the bat, have been Shaw and Dhawan, and they're both opening. And the thing is, none of both of them been left out of the T20 World Cup squad, so they both kind of have a point of view, because I think changes can be made till the 10th of October, even though it's like unlikely, but they still have a point of view, which is another thing with R, because he's a reserve. So he's also got the motivation to try and prove himself, so to get that spot in the main team on the 10th of October. And I think bowling wise, Avesh Khan was a big surprise. Now I hope he can keep it up, coming back, because he had that injury when he went to the UK. So let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. But I think the batting, I think Shaw would have to give us the good starts again.
Yeah, Avesh Khan, 14 wickets, 8 games. Good. That's good going. That's what you want.
I personally thought that he was the best bowler in the first half. Even though Harshal Patel took more wickets, but you have to see the wickets that Avesh Khan took. First game versus Chennai, he got the wickets of Faf du Plessis and MS Dhoni. Second game versus Rajasthan Royals, he got the wickets of Miller, Dubey, and Samson, if I'm not wrong. Riyan Parag. He got 3 wickets. Then he got Kohli out in the RCB game. He got the wickets of. He got Surya Kumar Yadav out in the MI game. He got Johnny Bairstow out in the Sunrisers Hyderabad game. So all the 14 wickets that he took, all of them, had a huge impact. If you look at from that point of view, I think he got a couple of wickets against KKR and against Punjab as well in the second game. He got Puran out in the first game in Mumbai as well. So if you just look at the wickets that Avesh Khan took in the 8 games, you'll know that all of them were either in the power play or all of them were taken when he literally broke open the game for Delhi. So he was probably the best bowler of the first half of the IPL, without a doubt, in my mind.
Okay, and I know we sort of half touched on this, but just no Wokes. What does that mean? Not having him, and that's surely got to be a massive dent, Ahan.
I don't actually think it's that big a dent now, because I think the fact that Iyer is back means that we can play another overseas. We can play Rabada and Nokia both. So I think Wokes is anyway going to sit on the bench. It would have been a bonus, like he would have been playing instead of Stoinis. So I don't think it's a massive dent that we've lost him. Like he's obviously a very, very good player, but I don't think it's as big as if we had lost maybe like one of Rabada, Nokia, or even
Hold
like
on.
Stoinis.
Whose front door's going? Who's at the door? Oh, it's behind you. Look at that. CSK. It's behind you, Rishi. Someone's walking in. Watch out, Rishi. Save yourself. Someone's come to get his Delhi Capitals. No, it's okay. It's okay. They've gone. Sorry, Ahan.
No,
you're saying it's not that much of a big deal. It's not that much of a big deal.
And I think we've got Ben Dwashis in. I think he's not bad. He gives you another different element. And we've got Gurkirat's favorite player, Tom Curran, who I think he'll play if we have to play. I mean, if it comes to that, he can play a game here or there. Like, it's okay. So I don't think missing Wokes is that big a deal, because it's going to be Rabada and OK in most games now. It's only like we have 6 games left, and then hopefully the playoffs. So there's not that much, like, there's no resting or stuff that needs to happen as well. So I think we should be fine without Wokes.
You haven't won an IPL title, Ahan, ever. Why are you sitting there so smug? How come you get to look that smug when you've not won anything?
Tommy, something that I want to add over here.
He's coming in. Pow! Coming in, CEO. What do you want to add?
Yeah, if you personally ask me, not having Wokes can be a blessing in disguise, because it makes sure that Ponting is not experimenting too much. Because you look at the first game that Delhi lost. They lost to Rajasthan Royals when they played Tom Curran and Chris Wokes ahead of someone like Nokia, and they played Ajinkya Rahane at number 3. I mean, with all due respect to all Delhi fans out there, I think when you play Ajinkya Rahane and Tom Curran in the 11, when you have the likes of Smith, Billings, Hetmeyer, Nokia on the bench, you more or less deserve to lose. So it could really well be it could really well work as a blessing in disguise for Delhi, wherein it will make sure that Ricky Ponting's not trying too much. You have your four set of foreigners that were there in the last season, and then if you feel that you need to strengthen the batting somewhere, or if you think that you might need to bring in another spinner, then you can very well do that, and by drawing these quick, and then play someone like a Sam Billings, which even strengthens the batting even more. Also, let's not forget that there was Lalit Yadav as well, who was adding that stability and balance at number 7 with his couple of overs and playing the role of a floater. So I really don't think that Vokes missing out is a huge deal. It ensures that Ricky Ponting keeps things simple and is very simple, because sometimes when you lose one game and you have options available on the bench, you want to try out everything, and that can lead to losing some sort of a momentum. So I'm very happy that one of those options being taken away from Ricky Ponting.
Okay, then I'll put it to you. Right, very confident for a team that's never won an IPL title, Gurkirat.
Well, you have to be. I mean, if you're not confident about your own abilities, why would someone else be? So I think that's a very normal frame of mind to have for any team that wants to improve and that wants to go forward in the league. So yeah, I don't think it's being overconfident or being a smug. It's just believing in your abilities and hoping that it comes to fruit. That's it.
Okay.
Also, I think in the last 2.5 seasons, apart from Mumbai, we've probably been the second best team in the IPL. So I'd fancy our chances if it comes to that this year.
Okay, so you've always been the bridesmaid, never the bride. You're always so close. Now is the time to step up to the altar and take the love of your life. That is the IPL trophy. All right, Rishi and Prasanna. Let's move on to Chennai Super Kings. A successful team, a super team, 3 IPL trophies, 13 years. Rishi, is there a chance to take that top spot? Do you think these guys are that much of a threat?
Yes, I mean, looking at Chennai Super Kings' chances this season, they've got 10 points out of the 7 matches that we played. We need another, just 3 games in our bag to make it to the playoffs. So I think, going forward, we have a very good chance to make it to the playoffs. I'm not really sure, how this last phase of the IPL is going to phase out, because each team will get just one opportunity to play, every other team. So it's like a mini IPL that's happening in Dubai. We've seen how we performed last year in 2020 in UAE. So that's going to be a factor that, the team management would keep in mind. But, we've learned from our mistakes. We've got players like Moeen Ali and Sam Curran who've been consistent performers for us in this edition of the IPL. So I think, it's going to be an interesting second half. And I'm hoping that, we finish top 2, given the fact that we've always done, the half of the work in the first half.
Right. Yeah. And Dhoni leading the way for you guys. Prasanna, obviously, he can focus fully on IPL. This is, people saying, oh, he's obviously retired and this and the other. But actually, does that not just allow the full Dhoni laser vision to be on CSK?
It does. And I think given that we have this head start of 5 wins out of 7, and the fact that Rishi pointed out that we needed only like 3 or 4 wins to go, and 1 or 2 more wins, I think that will take you to top 2. I think 18 points gets you top 2, something like that. And we do have the players that can, they have the capability. And I think Sam Curran will be out of the first game, and Faf du Plessis may be out as well, given that he suffered a groin injury in the CPL. So it will be interesting to see how we cope with that. I think the first game against Mumbai Indians, again, who's always been a bogey team. And I think apart from that, I think we should be good. I think we have a settled squad. We have a guy like, it's always good to have a guy like Moeen Ali who always comes in and scores the quick fire 30 or 15 or the 40 of 20, 40 of 25, something like that, who gives you a platform for the other batters to play around with it. And the fact we bat so deep itself gives us an advantage that we can chase whatever total comes our way.
Yeah, talking to Moeen, I've got to say, he was great for England. He was very impressive for England in the Test series. So he'll be coming straight off the back of that. Confidence is high. He's got a lot of respect as well. Actually, Rishi touched on this, Prasanna. I want to know your thoughts on this as well. Yeah, this is like a mini IPL. We've had this break in the season. What does that really mean for you guys? I mean, what are your concerns? Because a break can make a team go one or two ways.
Yeah, it does, and you kind of basically start from scratch again. You do have the 10 points at the back of your mind, but effectively you're starting from scratch again. It's not like it's like a continuous season where you have started and you're continuing or whatever. It all depends on the mindset. I think the mindset should be it's all up here at the end of the day. So I think if the players have it in them, they will automatically execute what the captain or the coach wants to do, and I think it's a matter of getting up onto your feet. And I think the team have gone there early, done some practice sessions and whatnot. Obviously, the international players who have played in England, they have just come in now and done some quarantine, and the CPL players like Bravo du Plessis are yet. CPL just ended yesterday, so they'll be on a separate charter flight and they'll do quarantine for 1 or 2 days or whatever. So it's all about getting the right balance in the first 1 or 2 games. And that's the same case for everyone. So it's just a question of who will get accustomed to the situations right away. Because some teams have come there early, some teams have come there a bit late. But yeah, that's the nature of the game.
Right, you're right. And we mentioned some of the big names for you guys. We mentioned Faf du Plessis, Karan, Chaha, Moeen Ali. It's a great squad. Where is the room for improvement, Rishi? What needs to happen in your batting, fielding, bowling? Where do you see it?
If you ask me honestly, the death bowling, I think the last few overs where we've always leaked runs. If you see, the last match of the IPL, first half of the IPL that happened that we lost against Mumbai Indians was a very high-scoring game. And that match went on to the last ball of the second innings. And we somewhere lost because of a bowling and somewhere because of a fielding as well. So I think, the death overs are very, very crucial for us. With UAE being slow pitches, teams would actually want to keep wickets in hand and then go, for big shots in the end of the over. So that is one thing that I would want, the CSK team to work on. And obviously, we've seen Moeen Ali, Sam Curran, the kind of start that they've given us. So really hopeful, the top order and the middle order goes berserk this time. Not like the last season, where the middle order didn't perform and we didn't have that many people scoring runs for us in the middle order. So middle order batting, top order, giving us that big start, and obviously the death bowling as well.
Okay. I want to show you something. I wanted to show you just an overall look. We forgot to do this for Delhi Capital as well. So we'll just do this as we wrap this up. Let's just have a look at who has been scoring the runs for CSK and who's being key players. Most runs. There you go. Obviously, look at that. 320. Curran, 9 wickets. Obviously Faf at 320. Curran at 9 wickets. That's impressive. That's got to instill a bit of confidence in you, Prasanna. Now, not that the confidence isn't high already, but that's got to feel good when you see that.
Yeah, it does. And a player like Faf du Plessis, he's one guy you can definitely rely upon. When he's in the middle, he's kind of a batsman that can control the situation. We saw even in the first half with Ruturaj around him, when Ruturaj wasn't performing for 1 or 2 games, Dhoni still persisted with him. And sometimes having an experienced player like Faf du Plessis can help your batting as well, because it will definitely improve your batting as well. And you saw Ruturaj come after that and score 2 or 3 50s. And Faf du Plessis has been in superb form, even in the CPL as well. Even in that CPL as well, he has scored some crucial runs for. Not sure what team he played for. Was it Fan Doosra Kings or the Patriots? God.
Well, one of these.
The Kings.
There you go.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, the Kings. So he has scored some runs here as well, so that will boost up his confidence a bit. And he did get hit by the groin injury, hopefully, which he will recover soon. But yeah, man, good signs. And Sam Curran has been obviously the shining light. Last season, he was one spark in our poor season. And this season as well, he started off on the right note. So just hope that can continue.
That's it. Let's quickly flip back to Delhi Capitals and have a look at their stats as well. Just overall, big run scorer there. I think as we expected, Shikhar Dhawan, 380 again. Avish Khan as well with the 14 wickets. Just brilliant. Brilliant figures. Final words from the Delhi Capitals, guys. This is yours to lose. Isn't it, Ahan?
No, I'm not saying anything like that because if it goes the wrong way at the end, then I'm gonna have to hear nonsense for it. So it's
That's why you're here, Ahan. Put the words out there, Ahan. Say the words.
It's anyone's game. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, I fancy our chances.
So, Gurkir, it's not about confidence and overconfidence, but surely the numbers says it all. The team lineup says it all. The team's been consistent. What's going to happen in the next few weeks?
So far so good, but there are a few things that the team still needs to look out for. One is obviously the form of Kagiso Rabada. He wasn't at his best in the first half of the IPL, and he won the purple cap last time. But if you ask me, I thought that he was not the best bowler on the show, because even though he took 29 wickets, only one of them came in the power play. Power play wickets from him were missing, which hampered Delhi in the second half of the season somewhere. So there's that thing that they can improve upon. And T20 is always such kind of a format that I never use the term that it's one team should lose, or it's another team should lose, because all you need is just 1 or 2 odd overs to change the whole momentum, and then the game starts shifting. So so far so good. There are a lot of bright spots. One is obviously the added motivation, like Ahan had mentioned, with Shaw, Shikhar and Iyer, probably the top 3 who would be very motivated to prove and still make a case for themselves to get selected before the when the squads actually get finalized on 10th October. Even though I think that replacements will not happen unless someone's injured, but it's always good to make your case. So there's that added motivation, but hopefully all the things that were not working out earlier, they work out right now. And the form of the 2 pacers, South African pacers, will be very important, because Kagiso Rabada has not been at his best in the last 1.5 years, not just in the IPL but even in the T20 internationals. His economy is over 9. So that is where someone like Avesh carrying his form from the first half would be very, very crucial for Delhi. Okay.
And actually, a final point which I forgot to mention to my CSK boys: why did Jadeja delete his tweet? When the rumors were going around of who could take over from Dhoni. I think some fan tweeted who could take over from Dhoni, and Jadeja just tweeted the number 8, referring to himself. Then he deleted it. Why is that? Are we got problems in the camp? Have we got somebody who wants the top spot? Is this going to be an issue, Rishi?
Tommy, this isn't a Sasbo serial that we're discussing. So let's not put any fuel to the fire. There's nothing as such that happening. The only thing that comes to my mind, he might have retweeted it by mistake, or something might have happened. But I honestly, I wasn't even aware of this tweet till you mentioned it. So
okay.
Our only focus is winning the IPL title and hopefully, saying goodbye to 2 biggest legends of T20 and Indian cricket, MS Dhoni and Suresh Raina. It might be their last season together. So I'm not really sure what's going to happen, but I hope, if it's their last season, we win on a winning note and give them the best farewell they can.
Okay. Prasanna, anything you want to add to that? Jadeja as captain, nibbling at the heels of Dhoni?
I mean, I don't read too much into that. Might be just fun and games after all. It's like you can't read too much into some things they say on Twitter and Instagram and whatnot. But yeah, anyway, just hope we start hitting the right note, and we need to be consistent as well, because we do have 10 points, but we still need at least 6 or 8 points to go through, and so we need to start winning, and we have 2 big games. We have MI and obviously Temlot down the road, so and it will be tough games after that as well. There are no easy games in this format, and we have to keep winning and just hope that we can finish top 2 and then go on from there.
Super. You're right. We'll all be watching. It's exciting. It's the most exciting cricket league in the world. Ahan, final point from you then, sir.
Just this is not related to Chennai or Delhi, but random news that Virat Kohli has stepped down as T20 captain after the World Cup.
Is that actually true?
Yeah,
I saw the comment.
He posted it on his Instagram, and Rohit is taking over after the World Cup. So big news.
After the World Cup.
See, when you get all of us together, you get big news.
No, this is amazing. Hold a minute. So he's stepping down ahead of the T20 or just
after the World Cup?
Okay.
After the World Cup.
So he's going to see us through till mid-November, and then Rohit as captain from 2021, 2022. I forget what year it is now.
For
Yeah.
T20s or for ODIs?
Only T20s.
Makes sense.
Only T20s, yes.
Makes sense. I as far as I'm concerned, I didn't want the top three to be playing T20 internationals at all after this World T20. I just
No,
think
but
that
he said he's
Yeah,
saying that I'm going to carry on playing as a batsman. So
yeah, but
Yeah,
I
yeah.
personally, that's fine. But I personally feel that the top three shouldn't be playing T20s because one, they play too much cricket. Two, T20 should actually be the breeding ground for the players that you bring into the ODI setup, and let them expose themselves and take in the pressure of international cricket, because there's so much of cricket that happens anyway, and with the bio bubble and everything. I've been wanting this for quite long, that the top three of Indian team, which is the ODI team, which is Shikhar, Virat, and Rohit, should not be playing T20s. I think at least this will take some pressure and relieve Virat of some of the workload that he has.
Oh, good. It's all good things, all approvals all around. Thank you, DD, for the breaking news. Hi to Sankit. Hello to Shreyas as well. Thank you to everyone for all your DJ Rarug? Hope I'm saying that right. Thank you very much for your comments as well. Lots of them coming in. Brilliant. Love it as always. We're here every day in the build-up. I'll be back tomorrow talking to two more teams ahead of the IPL starting on the weekend. This is it. We're getting back into things, back into the swing of things with some exciting cricket, the most exciting cricket league on the planet, and it all continues in the UAE this weekend. Make sure you follow Bharat Army social media. If you're not following us already across all platforms, do that right now. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and we'll keep you up to date. Look, these guys even had breaking news right here. We probably broke that news just as quickly as Crick Buzz. There you go, in your face. All right, there you go, just as quickly. Thank you guys so much, and until tomorrow, I'll see you later. Cheers, everyone.